Welcome everybody to episode 4 of the Sassy Massy Toy Drive interviews. We're here today at the Haggerty's Bar and Grill, where tonight at 7 o'clock, Friday at 7 o'clock, we're going to have our beef and beer with the Ridley Township Police Association and the Toy Drive. Haggerty's donating 100% of the funds to us, so we thank them for that. Today I get the honor of interviewing two of the finest. We have our resident litigator, highway patrolman, and full-time philanthropist, Jimmy Binns. And then our lieutenant in charge and Jillian's personal driver himself, Lieutenant John Hamill. Thank you guys for being with us. Jimmy, I'm going to start with you. In researching everything that we were doing last year, I realized how many runs you put together. Everything from feeding families of the fallen police officers to escorting heads of state. And it's all remarkable. But for this one, what made you put your full weight and support behind this toy drive specifically?
Last year I was approached by Lieutenant Hamill and Detective Jerry Scanlon, and they asked me if I would be interested in participating, and then they told me the story about Jillian, which of course melts your heart. So I agreed to work with them, and of course you and Detective Scanlon do all the heavy lifting along with the lieutenant, and I just mobilized the highway patrol motorcycle officers who were very, very eager to participate. And so last year was our first year escorting Sassy Massy, and this year I believe that we will at least double our participation. And last year, from my understanding, she collected 4,000 toys, or probably more than that, but this year I believe that she'll probably double it because of you and Detective Scanlon.
Well, we appreciate it. You know, it's funny when you said that with you guys mobilizing the motorcycle officers and her cheer. That's the idea, is to spread her smile and her cheer. And when I watch you guys pull up the day of delivery, it is intimidating. You got the big bikes, the leathers on, the face masks. But then I watch Jillian jump out of the car, sit on a motorcycle, and every motorcycle officer kind of became Play-Doh in her hands, and they lit up. Would you say it had a really profound impact on your whole crew?
Well, she's a very special person, and of course, Play-Doh is probably the right word, but in any event, she has such a tremendous spirit, and she broadcasts such a positive message that, you know, you kind of like just melt in front of her. But yes, you're right. I don't care how hard-knuckled those police officers are, and we like to think we are. That particular effort on our part is one of the high points of the year.
That's great to hear, and you put it a great way. Speaking of how she is and how exciting things are, you know, John, you got the pleasure of driving her on the day of the escort. You had the police motorcycles leading the way, and then you're right behind her, kind of like reindeer and Santa's sleigh, right? But you had her, well, she wanted to say something special over the radio to all the officers that were on duty that day. What did she grab the mic and say?
It was just a pleasure to have her in the car, and she was playing with the lights and the siren and the radio. She was asking who was listening to the radio, letting her know that with all those police officers, all those motorcycles, they all have radios in there. So she was very happy to get on there and say Merry Christmas to them and their family, but she was just such a pleasure to be around.
Absolutely. You know, I was listening to the radio as that came across, and I got chills. I can only imagine what it's like being in the car with her and her mom.
Absolutely. She's such a sweet little girl. Her mother was very, very nice. Her father's a great man. It was an absolute pleasure to be with her.
Awesome. Well, fun fact for everybody out there, if you ever watch the movie Rocky Balboa, it's actually Jimmy here who tells Rocky the bad news that he's not going to get his boxing license. So to go on that same theme, I'd like to officially ask you gentlemen, this year we'd like to double in size, and we would like you guys to escort us again, if you wouldn't mind that.
Well, as they did in the movie, I had an epiphany and actually granted Rocky his license, even though it didn't appear on the movie. So that this year, I believe earnestly that the size of the escort will at least double in size, and because of you and Detective Scanlon and Jillian and her family, I believe that the number of toys will probably triple in size.
Fantastic. John, you're in for driving her?
It'll be an absolute honor to take her back to her friends to give her these toys.
Fantastic. So we got the guys on board. Now everybody watching this has to donate the toys in order for us to take the escort. Again, the goal is more than triple the size now. We want to do 10,000 toys. I'd like to also point out that these are 2 of the 3 officers that made all this possible. The third, Detective Jerry Scanlon, cannot be on video due to his position with the police department. We would like to thank him and all the men and women in blue, not only for what they do for the toy drive, but for what they do 365 days a year. So again, tonight, Friday night, 7 p.m., Haggerty's Bar and Grill here in Delaware County. Come on out. It's going to be a great time. Haggerty's is donating 100% of the funds back to the Police Association and the Toy Drive. So come on out and hang out with me next time as I do another interview. Thank you, gentlemen.